Hi, welcome to this episode of the J-Karp Show. Right now we're going to talk about Week 4's recap and recap Week 5. Then I'm going to give you my Week 6 predictions. In Week 4, Houston Texans staked the claim that they were the best team in football. Atlanta may debate this claim, but they were 4-0 for the first time in franchise history and continued the march to 16-0 with a 38-14 victory over the Titans. Obviously, they're not missing Mario Williams, and their defense still ranks near the top of the league. Even defense baptized Jake Locker, restarting the Matt Hasselbeck era. Matt Shaw, Arian Foster, and Andre Johnson were never truly in jeopardy of allowing the game to slip from their possession. If there was anything positive to take away from that game, it was Chris Johnson. His 141 yards were 3 times as many as he had the first 3 games combined. But, aside from that, Tennessee best start looking for a wild card berth or vacation spots. Now we're going to go with quick hits to get through the Week 4 recap. Speaking of undefeated teams, Matt Ryan and the Falcons were still clicking on all cylinders to tune a 4-0 after a game-winning drive edged out the Panthers 30-28. Yeah, Cam Newton's doing great, huh? With Sunday's night's win over New York, the Eagles were now 3-1, with all 3 wins coming by a total of 4 points. Special teams for the name of the game and the Vikings' 20-13 win over the underachieving Lions, highlighted by Percy Harvin's game-opening 105-yard kickoff return, plus a punt return later in the game. Karma came knocking for Seattle this week. Despite Marshawn Lynch's 118 yards, the Seahawks had no late-game magic foolishness to go in their favor, ultimately losing 19-13 to St. Louis, who's really been shooting up lately. Peyton Manning had a Peyton Manning-like day against the Raiders. His stats, how about 30-38, 338 yards and 3 touchdowns? San Diego's 37-20 win over Kansas City was not how the Chiefs wanted to follow up a thriller in New Orleans. At least Jamal Charles pressing the XO triangle and R1 buttons was pretty awesome, right? Even with Drew Brees' record-setting day, when he tied Johnny Unitas' consecutive touchdown pass record, the Saints fell to 0-4 following a 28-27 loss to Green Bay. RG3 was impressive yet again, and had Billy Cundiff missed that last field goal against Tampa, and he almost did, he would have been found tied up in a Southeast DC basement. New England spotted Buffalo a 21-7 lead, then eventually ended up winning 52-28. Tom Brady, may we have your thoughts, sir? That was basically what happened in Week 4. Like I said, Rams had a good week. But now we have to go to Week 5. First, let's go to the Falcons and Redskins game. Falcons beat the Redskins 24-17. RG3 left the game with a concussion and he didn't come back. It wasn't his best game, but the injury undoubtedly altered the outcome. Now, Kirk Cousins came in and hit Santana Moss on a 77-yard touchdown. Now, see, you know something's going on when Kirk Cousins has a better game than your Heisman-winning quarterback. But the Falcons, once again, clicking on all cylinders, and they are still undefeated. Next, we had the Steelers and the Eagles. Steelers winning 16-14. It was going to be a close game from start to finish. Everybody predicted it. It wasn't supposed to be a shootout. Both teams struggle on offense. Eagles having tough issues with turnovers. Steelers have tough issues getting their players out of their retirement homes. The Steelers deserve a lot of praise for finding a way to win that game. They had such issues getting the ball to the end zone. Next, we had the Packers and Colts, which was personally one of my favorite games. It was an amazing end. And it was surprising that the Colts were able to win this game. I think the Packers are overhyped. I love Green Bay. I have no problem with them. I just feel like they've been a little overhyped. Yes, they have a lot of good things this year, but you know what? They have a tougher division this year, believe it or not. So they can't... when the Vikings and Bears are ahead of you, you're having issues. But, I think it was the fact that Chuck Pagano, who I send my best wishes out to, has leukemia. You're going to be motivated a lot more to play. Well, there they go. And the Colts ended up winning on a last-minute drive by Andrew Luck. Now we have the Browns and the Giants. Good God, Cleveland, hold a damn lead. They were 14 points ahead with the first 5 minutes of the game. And they didn't even beat the 8-point spread. Speaking of which, how did that spread drop to 8 points? Who was going to bet money on Cleveland beating the Super Bowl champs? Oh my gosh. I know they beat the spread against the Ravens last week, but Baltimore was playing their 4th game in 18 days. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. Brandon Whedon's actually developing. Brandon Whedon's doing better. They face the Bengals this week in Week 6, and I think things will go well for them. Next, we have the Titans and Vikings. Bottom line, Chris Johnson is overrated. He has not done anything this year besides the 141-yard game in Week 4. But I just couldn't believe it. He's the most overpaid athlete in sports right now, in my opinion. At least he's becoming one of them. Now, I'll tell you this. To spoil Week 6, they did beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tennessee did, but they can't beat the Vikings. And I'm giving AP a lot of credit for coming back from his injury so soon and doing so well. Congratulations to the Vikings on such a great start. Now we have the Dolphins and the Bengals. Not much to talk about. Bengals had a 5.5-point favorite, and despite 80% of the action coming from the Bengals side, the Miami Dolphins found a way to win. Maybe there is a little sleeper appeal in Ryan Tannehill, but we'll see what happens. It's the AFC East. It's a tough division. You got the Patriots, Okay, so bottom line is the Patriots division. The hell with the Jets, the hell with the Bills. It's the Patriots division, and Miami will probably be second. Now we have the Ravens and the Chiefs, and you all be thinking that it was going to be a blowout. Well, the Chiefs only lost 9-6. The Ravens offense did not do squat in that game. I couldn't believe that it was only 9-6. Well, I could believe the 6 for the Chiefs, but I couldn't believe it was 9 for the Ravens. Chiefs are trying their best, but now Brady Quinn's going to be starting this week. He's not exactly a solution to quarterback, but at this point, there can't be a worse option than Matt Castle unless your name's Tony Romo. Now you have the Seahawks and the Panthers. Seahawks beat the Panthers 16-12. I'm still in disbelief that I actually picked Seattle to win that game. And I got it right, too. I feel like a freaking genius. Panthers just couldn't get anything going offensively. Well, I mean, what can you do? This division literally could be theirs besides the Falcons. Because the Saints are fine, the Buccaneers are rebuilding, the Falcons are the Falcons, and they're going to just destroy every team they face. We'll see. It was interesting, though. Bruce Irvin has a Pro Bowl caliber attitude, work ethic, and ability. Problem is, he's on a non-Pro Bowl caliber football team. Next, we have the Bears and the Jaguars. I'll tell you, if there was ever a great day to have Matt Forte starting on my fantasy team, it was that. Bears won 41-3. It could have been inspiring by Mike Mularkey that they only lost by 38 points. Things could have been a whole lot worse. With Blaine Gabbert playing quarterback for the Jaguars, who I like, and I feel bad. Okay, what has Justin Blackmon done? Because I remember Rams fans were begging, pleading for us to draft Justin Blackmon. Well, Jaguars got him. We got pissed, but guess what? Janoris Jenkins on corner is having a hell of a lot better season than Justin Blackmon is at receiver. Next, we have the Broncos and the Patriots, the game everyone wanted to see. Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, probably for the last time, if not at least. And I could not believe that they did not let Peyton Manning throw as much. Willis McGahee cost them that game. Always cost it from being closer than it was. 31-21 is not bad, but it's still, you expected at least a higher score maybe, because you expected it to be a shootout. The Broncos have a key AFC West battle Monday night with the San Diego Chargers this week, so we'll see how that goes. Bills at 49ers. 49ers having an extra day of practice, winning 45-3. Mistakes were made. Buffalo will be in against a motivated Arizona squad, and this could be the start of that yearly Bills spiral downward. Only a couple more left. We have the Chargers and the Saints. Saints finally won. And congratulations to Drew Brees for breaking the consecutive touchdown record with 48 consecutive games with a touchdown. Congratulations, Drew. You deserve it. I mean, it had all the ingredients of a typical NFL screw job with Sean Payton returning to the building, Drew Brees trying to break a record, Saints playing for their season practically. But you know what? It was a good game. It was a good game. Chargers fought hard, but in the end, the Saints finally were able to hold the lead and keep it and win the game. And then, as we all know, Monday Night Football was a lot better game than we all expected with the Texans and Jets. Mark Sanchez still messing up. Could this be the start of Tebow time? Only time will tell. But in all, Week 5 was subpar. I mean, a lot of people didn't do well. I personally did good on my fantasy team. 3-2 in one of my leagues, so I'm doing good there. But Week 5 was subpar. So now, it's time for my Week 6 predictions. And I'm just going to fly right through them. I'm not going to give any high-def big analysis unless I think of any. So first we have the Browns over the Bengals. I think the Browns will finally pick up their first win. The Falcons over the Raiders, of course. Rams over the Dolphins. Rams defense has been amazing this season. Ravens over the Cowboys. The Colts over the Jets. Chuck Strong. Eagles over the Lions. The Buccaneers over the Chiefs. The Bills over the Cardinals in the upset. The Patriots over the Seahawks. The key game I want to watch. The Niners over the Giants. The Redskins over the Vikings. The Packers over the Texans on Sunday night. And my final pick, the Broncos over the Chargers on Monday night. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the J-Karp Show, and I'll catch you all later.